Hello again. The saga continues. Okay, I'm starting to get some decent castings now. I also got say about half the batch were not so good. I did two things. First of all, I started using just resin and pigment with none of the thickening powder to make the resin as thick as possible. I mean as thin as possible to get into the holes. But even when I was using that, I was noticing it wasn't getting right down into, in the detail of the molds, like into the detail sections, like in there. It just wasn't getting in. So what I did was halfway through the last lot of castings, I started just using a very old paintbrush. And what I would do is sort of take the mold and bend it open, where I need to. And then taking the resin and brushing the resin into the sort of recessed areas, just small amounts just to coat the inside, and doing that through the rest of the molds. I think I had 3 or 6 that I did like that, and I did all those just with brushing in the detail as such, and then with another batch I poured and filled the molds up. And as I said, these came out, and I think it was a bit more of half, so I think most of the 3 that I brushed in worked pretty well. So when I do the next batch, I'll brush them all in, and hopefully they'll all come out okay. But those that came out very nice. Like these, resin comes out very smooth. One thing with this, it's a lot slower drying than the other resin I was using, which and you don't even get the tiniest of air bubbles because it all has time to get out. Just the thing with this resin, as I say, it's just in its composition is quite a bit thicker than the other resin, the higher quality, more expensive resin. When you pour that stuff, I mean, it's like water thin, so that it runs into everywhere, and it's thin enough for the air bubbles to sort of rise up through it. But I think with this, with just pouring it into those recessed areas, if you get an air bubble trapped in there, that the resin is too thick, and sort of, even though it takes a long time to cure, even in the beginning it's just too thick for the air bubble to the ability of the air bubble to rise is not strong enough to sort of break through the composition of the resin. So, but when it does work out, it comes out smooth. It's just, these are all dry now, it's just that they're very tacky, but they come out very smooth. But on these other, when I've been doing these mortar and gun ones that I've been selling, I still sort of sand down the bottoms because they still have a bit of ridges of sand, the bottoms and the sides, before I spray them with matte black. So I'm just waiting for this batch now to dry. I put a couple of sort of sets to sort of sell on eBay for basically just the postage plus a nominal fee, because it won't let you enter a zero amount. So hopefully, as I said, they all sort of can be used. It's just a matter of time and effort you have to put into it. I mean, you could just, where detail has not come out, or pieces broken off, or not got sort of done as such, you could just add on some extra detail, a few twigs or whatever of your own. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I'm hoping that I'm just letting these out in the sun now just to get them up to temperature, so hopefully they'll start losing this tackiness, because they're hard. You can press on them, they're hard, but if I lift that one, it still bends. But if you put it down and just press it, it'll go back into shape. So I'm just giving these unfortunately, being in this wheelchair, I would love to be able to just put them all on I'm using some of this cardboard that's got like a plastic a plastic layer on top, because it sticks, but it, not like, I was trying paper, but then the paper was actually, when you pull them off again, the paper, part of the paper was staying behind. So this, they'll still stick, they still tack on, but they don't sort of pull up any cardboard or whatever to stick on the bottom to make them any worse than they maybe are. But as I say, I'm just letting these get some sun, because this is the only sort of sunny spot unfortunately that I've got access to, so I can't cast, but also sitting and sort of casting or whatever, sitting in direct sunlight also doesn't work too well for me. So I'll give these a while to dry in the sun, and later I'm not going to do any more of these gun ones because I've got enough of those at the moment. I want to carry on doing the medium infantry and the small command, 2 and 3 figure commands, so I can build up a couple of sets of those. I don't know what sort of size sets. I've been looking at the Flames of War website and looking at the Easy Army website to see the sort of size of average, because I want to sell like my platoon sets or company sets. But you've got vast differences between sort of like British. I'm only really focusing on British, US and German. But even between those three, you've got such vast different sort of configurations to make up platoons and companies that I'm really not sure on how to configure the sets. So I don't know if anybody's got any ideas on that would maybe just help me sort of get my thoughts sorted out. As I say, don't want to sell sort of too smaller sort of sets, because then it just becomes too much after a while. I want to sort of sell in maybe like 20, 25 of the medium bases, and say like 15 to 20 of the 2 and 3 command bases, as I say. But that also varies completely. Like you get the British Rifle Company uses a lot of 2-man command small bases for their Piets and their 2-inch mortars, and then some Germans for their tank hunter teams. But then again, you get the US that barely use any 2-figure bases at all. So as I say, to sort of try and make, I think, one generic sort of platoon or company set wouldn't work, so I would have to make up a sort of like a German, maybe a German platoon or company, a US platoon company, and the same for the British. But as I say, I'm not entirely sure what to supply, sets that give you more than you need, or sets that maybe could give you half and you can get like 2 of the sets. I really don't know how to do that. Anyway, as I say, if anyone's got any ideas on those things. See, I got a couple more, but basically like these are the failures. You can see there, that rock didn't come out, and piece of that log didn't come on, and piece there, and a piece there. So as I say, they're not, if you look at those, they're not sort of unusable, just that they're not sort of as I designed the masters to be. So that's the thing. Okay, I'm just starting to ramble now, and not really saying anything, just saying the same thing over and over. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'll do another batch later this afternoon, and either later tonight or tomorrow I'll do another video and let you know how those came out. Anyway, till next time, keep well. Bye now.